On account of Spooky Month, I would like to muse an interesting hypothetical to you all. In your opinion, what is the scariest thing ever? I'll give you a sec, write it down in the comments.
For some, it's the dark. For others, it's the unknown.
And for me, it's women. However, for some, the true face of horror is something you might not even expect. Tell me, how does this make you feel? Creepypastas kind of run adjacent to a lot of the concepts I mentioned back in the Nick Cheesy video. Except, instead of wanting to see two different characters get together and be friends and give each other enemas and stuff, these people would prefer to see one character fucking die. The way this is accomplished is through the long since decrepit art form of lost episode creepypastas, which exist on a spectrum of either okay to the dumbest fucking shit ever put to paper.
I was an employee at Evil Nickelodeon, and one day I found an evil tape, and I put it in my evil tape player. When the tape played, evil SpongeBob.
There are a metric fuckton of terrible creepypastas that I would love to make a video about, but I am a pious man who shows restraint, so I will only be talking about the one. Well, I say one, but so much shit happens in this story that it might as well be 18 different creepypastas. We're getting ahead of ourselves. It's time for us to enter the nightmare-fueled world of Dora's Moving Day.
God, dude, I'm gonna fucking feed it.
I probably don't need to explain who the Shadow Reader is, but I will anyway, just in case. He's a creepypasta writer slash reviewer who has been doing this for almost like 8 years now, if I remember correctly. Could very well be more. I'm not sure how deep the otter hole goes, and feel free to correct me. In spite of the ribbing I'm about to give this story, I just want to say that I actually really do enjoy the Shadow Reader's content, and I've even got a playlist dedicated to his videos, if you don't believe me. In fact, the only reason I even remember that this pasta exists is because I was binge watching his stuff and only just now realized how stupid this story was. I'm actually the nicest person ever, and all my teachers say I'm a good boy and I put an apple on their desk, so yeah, just clarifying. Roll the story.
I know for a good on fact that I'm not the only one who has a deep-seated hatred for the show Dora the Explorer.
I mean, I don't know about deep-seated, but pop off, King. The first thing you'll notice about our protagonist here is that he is just such a spiteful asshole. He can't stand Dora, he can't stand his sister, he can't stand fucking breathing air. That kind of just sounds like you, to be honest.
Honestly, the whole show was a huge pain in my ass growing up, even when I was a small child. Yeah, the show, its concept, and even the constant repetitive songs and questions made even my 5-year-old brain want to sit there and go up to my TV and smash it with a fucking sledgehammer until it was nothing more than broken glass scattered all over the carpet.
You see what I mean, right? How the fuck are you this mad about Dora? Also, how was any Nick Jr. show enjoyable for you, dude? They were all fucking repetitive.
Honestly, though, that leaves me with a question. If that was my case, then why in the ever-living hell did this show ever gain so much popularity as it did?
Because not every 4-year-old is a goatee-twiddling pseudo-intellectual who gets angry about Dora for no reason. I don't know. I dislike this thing, so everyone else should dislike it. Yeah, they're gonna love you on Twitter, buddy boy.
It, even to this very day, baffles the hell out of me that a show like this could have the same repetitive episode lineage, boring storylines, annoying as hell characters, and not to mention contrived concepts and lack of villains.
What are you talking about right now?
Well, I mean, there's Swiper, but even he gets pretty much the butt end of the stick just for pretty much existing.
I mean, yeah, duh, he's the villain in a kid's show. This is interesting. I don't think I've ever heard anyone complain about the lack of compelling antagonists in Dora the Explorer before, but I mean, I guess it takes all kinds. I guess this guy just wants every children's cartoon ever to have, like, word girl levels of writing. Every villain has to be fleshed out, and it has to build up to this insane melodrama. Will Dora do it? Won't she? I don't know, I'll jump off this fucking bridge and maybe we'll find out.
And of course, still sit there and have a full-on series that to this day is still popular, of various made-for-DVD, various TV movies, and hell, even a full-fledged movie on screen just based off of this character that has annoyed me and countless millions for years.
Me and countless millions? I don't know, dog. I don't think anyone hates Dora as much as you do.
But anyway, rant aside, the show pretty much was the one thing that I truly could say I never really cared throughout my childhood and teenage years. And I don't think that it'll ever truly be the case of me ever caring for it for a very long time.
Okay, veering a little bit off topic for a second here, was this video scripted at all? Like, it's a reading of a creepypasta, sure, but was it ever even typed down? Because a lot of the time, Shadow will say things like, sit there, or attempt to say something, and then go back and say something entirely different. And on top of that, the guy reads creepypastas for a living. He's no slouch in the reading department, so I have to ask, did he spitball this story? Because it would definitely make sense.
Unfortunately for me, that time that I thought I'd have, with never seeing the show again, was cut short when my little sister won those fucking tickets. Let me explain. My parents have a tendency to overly pamper and spoil my little sister.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that's
Throughout her
great.
young life,
Cool,
just by
awesome.
virtue of
That's
her
awesome, dude. What does this
existing
have to
and
do with
being there in
Dora?
our
Can you go back to
family,
talking about Dora, please?
they
I
would
feel
pretty much
scammed. This is
pamper her in a
26
lot of
minutes long.
ways.
26
Now, don't get me
minutes.
wrong.
Why are you not
They
talking
did the
about
same
Dora?
thing-
I came here to watch Dora the Explorer either have schizophrenia or kill someone. Why am I learning about your baby sister? I get that you gotta have a big dinner before you get to dessert, but goddamn, with all the needless exposition this dude is giving out, he's giving us a 4-course meal.
One especially interesting moment was a sweepstakes offered by a Nickelodeon company not too far away from us via the mail that they were having. My sister was ecstatic when she first found out about the whole thing, and practically begged my parents to sign her up for it, which they did in a heartbeat. About a week after had passed after that little entry, and surprise, surprise, my sister wound up getting a letter from the company claiming that she had won the sweepstakes.
You know, at first I thought this guy's vitriol toward his sister was kind of ill-gotten, but honestly, if my sister had plot armor this large, I'd probably fucking hate her guts too. Do you even realize how many boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch you have to fucking sodomize just to get a chance at winning one of those fucking sweepstakes? Tell your sister to enroll in the lottery, dude. What are you doing?
I, as you would expect, wasn't very thrilled to go. I mean, sure, it was kinda cool to see the studio and everything, but I wasn't too particularly crazy about cartoons at the time, especially since I had turned 14 that year, and was more focused on other topics.
Oh my god, I don't fucking...
The intro song to Hamilton didn't even have this much fucking exposition, dude. Holy shit. You know what? Fuck it. I would have actually preferred if he went with the I was an intern at Nick angle. Because at the very least, we would have gotten to the content a whole lot quicker than if you just spent a million fucking years describing how many ball hairs you have.
Upon making our way to the studio, we were all met with a male employee who introduced himself as Riley, and told us all that he was the one that was going to give the tour for us.
Wow, this guy seems like a real upstanding gent. Can you please describe his appearance and personality in vivid graphic detail?
Now, funny thing about Riley, he looked as though he was one of those unpaid
Oh,
interns that got forced
that's
into sitting
great.
there and
That's so
working for
cool,
whatever
dude.
employee
That's
over
so
him for
fucking
free.
cool. You know, I was
Short,
joking,
really,
right?
really thin,
I was fucking
wore a
joking
white button-up
when I
shirt
said that
that looked a
earlier.
lot
I was
more
fucking
baggy than it
joking.
should have been
Oh
on
my,
him.
are you
He
actually?
had
Oh my
long,
fucking
messy
god.
black-
Okay, I'm gonna fucking prolapse if this keeps up. So, I'm gonna skip forward a little bit.
Riley then proceeded to take us throughout the studio, barely even able to keep up a joyful expression and tone as he led us through the various rooms that he worked into, including a couple of editings and animation rooms, which were nice.
Holy fuck, I'm on the edge of my seat. Is he actually about to talk about the lost episode?
After that, it was around time for lunch. The intern took us to the main cafeteria into the studio for us to go and eat at.
Is that right? Yeah, you went to go eat lunch? That's really interesting, dude. Tell me more.
Before handing us a few food vouchers to pay for our food. Each of us received one of them, and when I looked down to see what it was good for, my day only sank down further into the bottomless pit of hell itself. The only two meals that I could get were either a small slice of meatloaf with mashed potatoes and corn with a milk, or 2 chicken tenders with the same items included. Now, it wasn't so much the options that were the most insulting, even though I really hate meatloaf with a passion.
Oh, you hate meatloaf with a passion, do ya? Yeah, me too, dude. Yeah, I really hate it when I'm told I'm gonna get one thing, and I wind up getting something completely different that ends up being super underwhelming and not what I asked for. Yeah, I really, really don't like when that happens. I can't think of any recent examples of that happening, but if I find one, I'll fucking get back to you. At this point, I'm genuinely waiting for this video to tie back to the invention of the telephone and the first fucking phone call. Like, I mean, we're not even talking about Dora anymore at this point. This is just not in any way, shape, or form a lost episode creepypasta. Not anymore.
But also the fact that it was a kid's meal. I'm not kidding any of you. It was a fucking kid's meal.
A fucking kid's meal? Oh no!
Turns out, my little sister had gotten the better voucher mixed up with mine, and of course I tried protesting to them that, this was meant for her, but my parents, of course, didn't listen and allowed her to pretty much use the voucher that I was supposed to get, and proceed to get anything that she wanted, including a large dessert.
Well, you know what? I bet if I asked your sister to write a creepypasta about Dora the Explorer, she'd get right to the fucking point instead of meandering about meatloaf. So you know what? Maybe you deserve to fucking starve.
Now, whether or not it was from the lack of food in my system going to my brain, or just me being a dumbass at the time, I wound up going into the wrong direction in the studio where the bathroom was supposed to be, and then wound up walking into a random door that I thought was vaguely the bathroom. Now, normally this would embarrass the hell out of me when I think about it, if there was any people there that was in that room. But what I wound up walking into was something that I could say was the only highlight of my day. The room was rather large, with row after row of open boxes, film reels, and other various items that caught my attention.
Holy shit, boys, this isn't a drill. He's talking about the lost episode. Let's fucking go! It's been 10 minutes. 10 fucking minutes. And you're only talking about it now. What the fuck are we doing here? I feel nothing, dude. I should not feel this hollow at the fact that we're only now getting to the point of the fucking story.
Once our little vacation time was done and over with, and we had finally made our way back home, I took the USB drive out of my pocket when I got into my room and looked at it for a good few minutes, wondering what the hell was on it. Then just as I was about to put the thing in my computer to really kind of analyze the files and see what was there, I wound up feeling a heavy amount of guilt eat away at me. I mean, I had just stolen something from a major studio.
3 whole days you were on that vacation, and this is only occurring to you now? God, the lack of food really did fuck your head up.
So out of pure fear and panic, I wound up taking the USB drive and throwing it into my sister's drawer, and left it like that.
Yeah, my sister is a fucking vacuous bitch who gets preferential treatment from our parents and fucking forces my eyes open to watch Dora every day. Also, let me put this fucking thing I stole in her drawer where she'll find it. Good job, dude. Good job.
That is, until she wound up finding it, and while I was at school at the time, she didn't go to school just yet, she took it over to my laptop and watched whatever the hell was on it. Needless to say, when I went home that day, my sister was rather, how do I put this properly, unresponsive.
Oh, hell nah. Shawty hit the evil Dora pack a little bit too hard and fucking fried her brain cells.
I was a bit confused about the whole thing and why she was acting like that, until I wound up going into my room and finding my laptop completely open with the USB drive shoved into it. She probably saw me do it a couple of times since we did share the same room together, so she might have, just put it in there and just started looking around.
You know, now that I think about it more vividly, I think this would have been a much better creepypasta if the sister was the protagonist instead. Not only is her connection to Dora a lot more tightly wound than the narrator's is, but her finding the contents of the lost episode would be a lot more impactful because of that connection. Plus, the protagonist of the story already comes off like an immature fuckwad, so writing for a 5-year-old shouldn't be much harder.
Now, thankfully it was Friday, and I didn't have any homework or anything to get done, so I quickly hopped onto my laptop after putting my bag down and wound up checking the contents of the USB drive to see if there was anything on it that was of interest. Well, there were a couple of encrypted files on there, mostly which I couldn't even get into, but I also wound up finding a few video clips as well. Curious, I clicked on one of the videos and inserted my headphones into my ears and began watching. The episode began with the typical Dora the Explorer theme song. Rather loudly, I might add. My first instinct that came by when I heard the damn theme song was, fuck this. Yeah, I wasn't really in the mood to watch a piece of shit show that I hated with every ounce of my being.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20, asshole. I've been waiting a while for this. Can you please stay on topic?
But of course, I was going to take the USB drive out, but I wound up hearing my parents start to argue downstairs with my sister, and I decided that since I was going to be in my room for the time being, I decided to just go on ahead and sit there and watch it. Honestly, it was a lot better to just deal with a shit show that I hated than have to walk in on family drama and get involved into it. I would honestly prefer that rather than the latter. Let me tell you.
I don't want you to tell me! I don't fucking care! I'm here for fucking
So, once I had put the headphones back in, I pretty much braced myself for whatever show this was gonna give me. But come another where's the mountain question, things like that, I was going to punch a deep hole in my computer screen. Once the intro had finally ended, I was met with the startup of the show, with Dora and Boots standing next to Dora's home, staring at the screen ready to give their lines. Hola, soy Dora, Dora said in her usual upbeat voice. And I'm Boots, Boots said. We want to thank you for coming today. You see, mi familia is having a very important fiesta today, because my family and I are moving into the big city very, very soon, Dora said. We better go get packing, Dora. Don't want to have your family waiting for too long for the fiesta, Boots said as he made his way over towards the front door with a huge stupid grin on his face. Once Boots and Dora made their way inside the house, it was shown that there was nothing in there, which is rather odd given how there weren't any boxes anywhere and apparently they were moving. However, Dora and Boots didn't really seem to mind this too much, and then began making their way into the kitchen, where, again, it was completely empty. Dora then approached the counter and asked her mother if she could find a couple of boxes for her room. I was thoroughly confused now, given the fact that Elena, Dora's mother, was nowhere to be seen near the kitchen.
Okay, so help me understand this for a second. This foggy-eyed 14-year-old shithead who hates Dora so much that he would be willing to fucking donut his laptop just to turn it off is somehow, inexplicably, on a first-name basis with Dora's mother.
You're a fraud! You're a charlatan! You're not a real Dora hater like us!
And yet Dora was just standing there talking to a spot that was vacant and empty like she was there. I was concerned, but Dora simply stood there listening apparently, and then thanked her mother and then proceeded to go over towards a closet and start pulling out some cardboard boxes. Once they grabbed them, they immediately exit the kitchen, and then proceed to go up the stairs and into Dora's room. During their way there, Dora and Boots then proceed to greet Cole, Dora's father.
Oh, sorry, both of her parents. He just inexplicably knows both of her parents by name, I guess, despite hating Dora so much that he'd want to smash his fucking TV. Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah, you hate Dora so much. Yeah, I totally believe that. This is giving closeted Dora hate. Like, every other sentence this dude talks about how much he fucking hates Dora, and then you find out that he knows both of his parents by name. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, we opened your laptop and found, like, 16 terabytes of, like, Dora full episodes or something. I don't know. You're not fooling anyone, dog. Just embrace the Dora fandom. You know you want to.
Honestly, at this point, I was starting to get a little weirded out from this episode. Apparently, in one way or another, Dora had gone fucking insane and was now starting to talk to absolutely nothing. Dora and Boots then proceeded to go into Dora's room, and then, after a little bit of a conundrum, asked the audience if they could help her get to the post office and the store, well, specifically the store, to go and get some tape and other groceries that were needed to help pack her things and supply some stuff for the fiesta. She waits her usual time and then answers with a, "Great," before asking, "Who do we ask for help when we don't know which way to go?" There's a short period of silence for a bit before Dora smiles and then answers, "That's right, the map," Dora said. Then in an instant, after Boots himself said, "Say map, the map itself popped out of the holster from the backpack, and then proceeded to sing his trademark "I'm the Map" song, before going into the main details of where the two were supposed to go in this episode. I'll spare you the agonizing details about it.
Yeah, whatever, dude. You can go fuck yourself. Where was this energy when you were talking about fucking Riley and Meatloaf and your sister being responsible for 9/11? You couldn't spare us the agonizing details there, but when you actually need to talk about the fucking lost episode creepypasta, now you want to skip through shit? If anything needs the map right now, it's your fucking priorities, because they're ass backwards.
Nothing really that out of the ordinary, with the sole exception of one thing. Every place that she goes to, there's nobody there. No joke. Just like in the house, there was nobody there to greet her, or any voices, or even any of her friends showing up. Minus Dora and Boots, but that's about it. Even when Dora reacted in a way that she would normally would when dealing with a specific issue, like, say, the troll bridge, for example, there would be nobody there to answer back or sing any of the songs or whatever, despite the music playing in its place.
Dude, I'm gonna level with you. It kind of just sounds like you copped an unfinished episode. And you know, it does kind of suck that I sat through 15 minutes of Meatloaf talk only to sit through what effectively amounts to an unfinished tech demo.
This was especially freaky, when it got to the point where Swiper was supposed to come in and try and take their things, if they even had any. Dora and Boots then said the same lines like they usually did, Swiper no swiping, and, well, won, I guess. But like with everything else, there was no answer. There was no, oh man, there was nothing. Just the same sound that it showed when Swiper ran off. This continued on for a good portion of the episode until finally having a change after Dora and Boots sing the We Did It song. Now normally the show would cut after the little clicker mouse would click on Dora or Boots, but in this episode that didn't happen. In fact, once they land on the ground, Dora then starts making her way back to the same route that she had entered into with Boots. Only this time, she was alone. Boots wasn't there with her, and she seemed to look rather upset. This continues until she finally gets back home, only to find the entire place at night and her home in complete shambles, like it hadn't been used in years. She entered into the front room and then made her way up the stairs and into her bedroom, everything else looking about as old and dilapidated as it is. It's then that Dora starts to cry as she enters the bedroom, before making her way up to her bed, which, shockingly enough, was still intact, and said, "I had fun today. What was your favorite part of the trip?" Dora asked. There was no response, and the lack of response only seemed to make her sadder than she was. Then, without any warning, she plopped down under her bed and cried into her pillow, bawling like she had lost everything. The screen then slowly pans out of the house, and then out into the scene of the forest, before immediately panning out entirely to show nothing there but the forest and the house right dead center, before finally going all the way up to the moon, cutting to black, and then ending.
Okay. So for those of you in the back, the synopsis of this lost episode is the average Dora episode, except no one is there, and then at the end of it, it turns out that Dora was seeing things all along. Why? This is bullshit! All the time I spent waiting for you to get to the meat and potatoes of this stupid-ass story, and that's what you give me? That's 28 minutes of my life I'm never getting back, you fucking edgy backyardigans-loving weasel. Did you honestly even want to write a Dora Lost episode, or was this just a fucking pilot for a shitty family melodrama you were trying to write? This isn't scary! I didn't leave this shit with any fucking feeling besides anger and boredom. You incessantly complain about the depreciating quality of creepypastas, but you're adding logs to that fire, dude. You're the fucking problem! The story sucks! You suck! Dora sucks! Ah! Okay, spurting aside though, like genuinely, what was the game plan here? You can tell me that you found and watched a lost episode until you're blue in the face, but when I hear the term lost episode, I want to feel! From start to finish, this entire story has been nothing but a fucking Dora-themed mood board. There is no lost episode. Look, this is a pretty old story, almost as old as the first video on this channel, in fact, and I am absolutely certain that Shadow has probably gotten better at writing since then. But this isn't it, sisters. There is a right and wrong way to counter the precedent set by lost episode creepypastas, and this is definitely not the right way. But yeah, I'm calling it here. My final rating of the story, 5 out of 10. A little bit too much meatloaf, but there's a little something for everyone. If you actually made it this far into the video, good boy. But also, genuinely thank you for watching. This video was a trip the whole way through, and I had a lot of fun making it. Sorry for going quiet for like, essentially 2 whole months. I hope this makes up for it, but if it doesn't, then worry not, I've got more content on the way. As always, I've been Yeezo. Don't come to my house, or else I'll suck your dick. I mean dick, I mean dick, I mean cock, I mean dick.
Every day
and surprise as your eyes widen. Your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to leave. Glued to your computer screen, the killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought makes your legs go taut. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping, horror-driven, nightmarish, gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you'll crawl out of this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with their own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded anyway, because your nightmares will come at any day.